Dr. Nidhi Khare. In today's lecture, I'm going to cover two topics under the series Approaches to Leadership. The first one is Transactional Leadership and the second one is Creative Leadership. And with these two topics, I'll be finishing off Approaches to Leadership today. So coming to our first topic, Transactional Leadership. Students, this style starts with the idea that team members agree to obey their leader when they accept a job, and the transaction usually involves the organization paying team members in return for their effort and compliance on a short-term task. The leader has a right to punish team members if their work doesn't meet an appropriate standard. Transactional leadership is present in many business leadership situations, and it does offer some benefits. For example, it clarifies everyone's roles and responsibilities. And because transactional leadership judges team members on performance, people who are ambitious or who are motivated by external rewards, including compensation, often thrive. The downside of this style is that on its own it can be chilling and immoral, and it can lead to high staff turnover. It also has serious limitations for knowledge-based or creative work. As a result, team members can often do little to improve their job satisfaction. Now coming to creative leadership. Creative leadership in business is one of the most important attributes that individuals and organizations can encourage and develop. But before we discuss why creative leadership is so crucial, we need to understand the difference between two closely related things, which are creativity and innovation. Creativity is the capacity to come up with ideas for solving problems and exploiting opportunities. Innovation is the ability to turn those creative ideas into new products and services. To put it another way, creativity is inspiration. Innovation is perspiration. In that case, a creative leader is someone within an organization who is capable of producing the conditions that enable those in their team to generate creative ideas. These ideas will help the organization to move forward. These leaders may be a source of creative ideas themselves, though they don't have to be. A creative leader doesn't need to be a creative genius themselves. They need to draw it out of their other people in the team. This kind of leadership is increasingly important today because we live in a world characterized by what military strategists call VUCA. V stands for volatility, U for uncertainty, C for complexity, and A for ambiguity. In these conditions, businesses are very rarely able to get away with just carrying on exactly as they always have. The rate of obsolescence in our products and services is increasing. So we have to keep developing new ideas and turning them into innovations. In the past, creativity and innovation were seen as a luxury or as the preserve of particular organizations such as Apple or 3M. But nowadays, we need creative approaches to the problems and opportunities that we face in every walk of life. In a 2010 research report by Ernst & Young entitled Connecting Innovation to Profit, one of the companies interviewed said, "We assume that 50% of our revenue in 5 years' time will come from sources that do not exist today, and that is why we innovate." So the implication of this is clear. If organizations want to make sure they have the services and products that people are going to want in the future, they need to be thinking about them now. Students, look at Blockbuster Video. It had a very good service that was very popular and generated huge revenues. But it failed to innovate and update its service. The last Blockbuster stores in the US closed in January 2014. How then can organizations be as creative as possible and thus innovate as rapidly as they need to? Well, there are two possible approaches. First, they can try to recruit highly creative people externally and internally. But the bad news here is that conventional methods of deciding who to appoint, like interviews, intelligence tests, and personality profiling, are very poor predictors of whether candidates possess well-developed creative skills or not. Another approach is to train the people already working within the organization to use their creative skills more effectively. To do this, we need to start by accepting that everyone has their own approach to being creative. Some people produce lots of ideas, most of which won't work, and then sift through them and come up with one or two others' ideas. Others produce a small number of ideas in great detail. Enabling teams to be more creative involves allowing people to work out their own way of being creative. More broadly, organizations need to think about the conditions in which people are likely to be creative. That starts with the mission and values of the organization and involves an examination of its recruitment, training, and induction processes, how it provides people with feedback and rewards, the working environment, how it assembles teams, and ultimately what kind of leaders it picks. There are many strands to it, but finding individuals capable of creative leadership, harnessing their skills, and promoting them is the key. So students, most of the leadership models discussed under the series Approach to Leadership date back to the earlier thoughts on the subject. Creative leadership is one of the more recent additions to this area of study, and in some ways has redefined the way people think about this topic. So basically, contemporary approaches to leadership include transformational leadership, leader-member exchange theory, servant leadership, and authentic leadership. The transformational leadership approach highlights the importance of leader charisma, inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration as methods of influence. And all these I have already discussed before in one or the other part of the series. So its counterpart is the transactional leadership approach, in which the leader focuses on getting employees to achieve organizational goals. According to the leader-member exchange theory, the unique trust-based leadership relationships leaders develop with employees are the key to leadership effectiveness. Recently, leadership scholars started to emphasize the importance of serving others and adopting a customer-oriented view of leadership. Another recent focus is on the importance of being true to oneself as a leader. While each leadership approach focuses on a different element of leadership, effective leaders will need to change their style based on the demands of the situation, as well as utilizing their own values and moral compass. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that no one style of leadership fits all situation. So it's useful to understand different leadership frameworks and styles. And now that you have an understanding of all the styles, you can adapt your approach to fit your situation. Thank you.